Let me tell you something most people don't want to hear. Losing is not the opposite of winning. It's part of the process. Everyone loses. The difference is what they do after they lose. Failure is not a single cataclysmic event. It is the result of poor judgment, repeated daily. But here's the other side of the coin. Success is built the same way. Why losing hurts so much? Losing bruises the ego. It shakes confidence. It makes people question themselves. And that's why most people try to avoid it. They play safe. They aim low. They stay comfortable. But comfort has a price. If you don't plant, you don't harvest. And if you never risk losing, you never earn the right to win. Losing isn't the problem. Learning nothing from it is. Some people lose and quit. Others lose and grow. The same wind blows on us all. It's the set of the sail that determines the direction. Losing can push you backward, or it can push you forward. That choice is yours. Losing is a teacher. Every loss carries a lesson about preparation, a lesson about discipline, a lesson about attitude. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. Correct the errors, and the loss becomes an asset. Ignore the lesson, and the loss becomes a pattern. Let me be clear. This is not about accepting defeat. This is about using defeat. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. The art of losing is learning how to turn pain into wisdom, mistakes into mastery, and setbacks into strength. Stay with me, because if you understand losing the right way, you'll stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing loss, you start playing to win. Success is predictable. It's not luck, and it's not magic. It's hard work and discipline. Today, we talk about the art of losing, not as weakness, but as one of the greatest tools for success. Let's begin with the truth. A simple truth. Losing is inevitable. Not because life is unfair, not because the system is against you, but because growth demands it. You cannot grow without challenge, and you cannot face challenge without the risk of loss. Every new level requires new skills, and until the skills catch up, there will be mistakes. The law of first attempts. Anything worthwhile starts with imperfection. The first speech is awkward. The first business struggles. The first discipline routine feels uncomfortable. Don't expect perfection from yourself at the beginning. Expect progress. Losing happens when desire runs ahead of ability, and that gap is normal. Why beginners lose more? Because they should. Beginners lack experience. They lack judgment. They lack refined habits. And that's not a flaw. That's the process. Failure is not a person. Failure is an event. Too many people attach losing to their identity. They say, I'm a loser, instead of saying, I lost this round. Big difference. Life is a classroom, not a courtroom. Life isn't here to punish you. It's here to train you. Every loss asks a question. What did you ignore? What did you delay? What did you avoid learning? If you don't learn from experience, experience will keep visiting you. The lesson repeats until it is learned. Why avoiding loss keeps you small? Some people try to design a life without loss. They avoid risk. They avoid responsibility. They avoid challenge. And in doing so, they avoid growth. If you don't plant, you don't harvest. No planting means no weeds, but it also means no crops. Here's a powerful thought. If you're losing, it means you showed up. It means you tried. It means you stepped beyond comfort. The timid never win, and the overly aggressive often lose. Progress belongs to those willing to endure temporary loss for long-term gain. Growth has a price. Sometimes the price is money. Sometimes it's pride. Sometimes it's comfort. We must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Losing is often the pain of discipline in disguise. This is where strength is built, not in winning streaks, but in recovery. Not in applause, but in reflection. Character is not built in comfort. It's built in challenge. Losing prepares you for responsibilities you're not yet ready for. Remember this. You don't lose because you're incapable. You lose because you're becoming capable. And once you understand that, losing no longer scares you. It instructs you. Most people confuse two things, and that confusion costs them their future. They confuse failure with defeat. Failure is an event. Defeat is a decision. Failure is not a person. Failure is an experience. Defeat only happens when you stop trying, when you stop learning, when you stop adjusting. Failure is not the end of the road. It's a signpost. It says, this way didn't work. It doesn't say, you can't. Every failure contains a lesson, if you are willing to learn. Those who succeed aren't those who avoid failure. They are those who extract wisdom from it. Why failure feels so heavy? Failure hurts because it touches pride. We attach our worth to outcomes. We tie our identity to results. So when the result collapses, we think we have collapsed. But that's not true. You are not your results. You are your capacity to improve. Failure bruises the ego. Defeat damages the soul. Defeat is always optional. Defeat begins in the mind. It starts with thoughts like, what's the point? I'm just not good at this. Others are luckier than me. The greatest battle is not on the field. It's in the mind. Once you accept defeat mentally, your actions follow. Energy drops. Effort fades. Hope disappears. Quitting doesn't scream. It whispers. It says, take a break. It says, you deserve comfort. It says, you can try again someday. Someday is not a day of the week. Defeat often looks reasonable. That's why it's dangerous. Every failure strips illusion. It removes shortcuts. It exposes weak habits. It forces self-examination. If you want to be successful, you must be willing to do what others avoid. Failure demands honesty about your discipline, about your preparation, about your consistency. This honesty is painful, but it's priceless. Champions expect failure. They don't invite it, but they anticipate it. They know the road upward is uneven. Success is a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Failure appears when those disciplines break. And that's information. The question that changes everything. After failure, ask one question. What must I become? Not, why did this happen to me? But, who do I need to grow into? For things to change, you must change. Failure asks for growth. Defeat refuses it. There's a moment after every failure, a quiet moment. No applause, no advice, just you and the truth. In that moment, you decide, will this be a lesson or will this be a label? The ultimate reason for setting goals is to compel you to become the person it takes to achieve them. Victory belongs to the patient. Those who win aren't always the most talented. They're the most persistent. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Failure improves you. Defeat imprisons you. Remember this. Failure says, try again, but wiser. Defeat says, stop. And the voice you listen to determines your future. Loss becomes dangerous only when it teaches you nothing. Because what you don't learn, you repeat. If you don't learn from your mistakes, they will keep showing up. Life is patient. It will give you the same lesson again and again until you understand it. Loss is a teacher, not a punishment. Loss is not here to shame you. It's here to educate you. Every loss asks quietly, what did you neglect? What did you underestimate? What habit betrayed you? Success is not something you pursue. It's something you attract by the person you become. Loss exposes the gap. between who you are and who you must become. Why people repeat the same loss? Because they skip reflection. They rush forward. They distract themselves. They blame circumstances. You cannot change your destination without changing your direction. If direction doesn't change, the outcome won't either. Same thinking, same habits, same result. After every loss, successful people pause. They ask hard questions, not emotional questions, honest ones. Did I prepare enough? Did I stay consistent? Did I act or procrastinate? We all must suffer from one of two pains, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Reflection is discipline. Avoiding it creates regret. Loss comes with emotion, disappointment, frustration, self-doubt. These emotions are real, but they are not teachers. Don't let your emotions override your intelligence. Once emotion settles, instruction appears. That's when learning begins. Turn loss into a blueprint. Loss is a blueprint written in red ink. It shows you where systems failed, where habits weakened, where effort was inconsistent. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Loss shows which disciplines were missing. The habit adjustment rule. One loss doesn't require a new life. It requires new habits, small changes, consistent changes. Motivation gets you started. Discipline keeps you going. Loss often happens when motivation fades and discipline never arrived. Why experience alone isn't enough. Experience doesn't teach. Evaluated experience does. Two people can experience the same loss. One grows, the other repeats it. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning turns loss into capital. Reaction is emotional. Response is intelligent. Loss demands response. A new routine, a stronger boundary, a higher standard. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value you bring. Loss reveals where value must increase. The cost of ignoring the lesson. Ignored lessons grow louder. Small losses become big losses. Minor warnings become major consequences. Failure is simply a few errors in judgment, repeated every day. Correction prevents repetition. When you own the loss, you own the solution. Blame keeps you stuck. Responsibility sets you free. You cannot change circumstances, but you can change yourself. And when you change, everything changes. Learning from loss is a decision to slow down, to reflect, to adjust. For things to change, you must change. Loss doesn't defeat you. Repeating it does. Remember this, loss is temporary. The lesson is permanent if you accept it. Learn once, grow forever. There are lessons success can never teach. Only losing can. That's hard to accept, but it's true. We learn far more from defeat than we ever do from victory. Winning feels good, but losing makes you think. And thinking is where growth begins. Growth requires pressure. Nothing grows without resistance. Muscles grow under strain. Character grows under challenge. Wisdom grows under loss. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Losing applies pressure. And pressure reveals what's weak and what must be strengthened. Why comfort prevents growth. Comfort creates stagnation. When things are easy, we stop stretching. We repeat what works. We avoid what's uncomfortable. If you're not willing to risk, you're not willing to grow. Losing removes comfort and forces expansion. Many people believe growth should be smooth, but real growth is messy, uneven, uncomfortable. Success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day. Those disciplines are built through failure, not fantasy. Losing builds capacity. Loss expands your tolerance. For effort, for discomfort, for responsibility. You don't become extraordinary overnight. You become it by doing ordinary things extraordinarily well. Loss teaches endurance, and endurance builds capacity. Why winners lose often. Those who win long-term lose frequently early on because they attempt more, risk more, expect more from themselves. The number of attempts determines the size of success. Losing is the tuition paid for mastery. Loss strips illusions. Loss removes arrogance. It humbles ambition. It corrects overconfidence. Confidence comes from discipline and training. Loss exposes shortcuts and forces fundamentals. Effort without learning leads to exhaustion. Learning without effort leads to illusion. Loss connects the two. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Loss turns experience into education. Loss tests integrity. Will you keep your standards? Will you keep your promises? Will you continue when no one is watching? Character is not what you show when things are easy. It's who you are when things are hard. Growth begins there. Why avoiding loss delays destiny? Avoiding loss means avoiding risk. Avoiding risk means avoiding growth. If you don't plant, you don't harvest. No risk, no reward. After losing, priorities sharpen. You see what matters. You see what doesn't. Don't major in minor things. Loss removes distraction and focuses effort. Growth isn't dramatic. It's repetitive. Loss tests patience. Success is nothing more than a few disciplines practiced every day. Staying consistent after loss is the true victory. Losing is not the opposite of winning. It's part of it. Growth demands loss. Wisdom demands humility. Success demands endurance. The pain you feel today will be the strength you feel tomorrow. Losing doesn't weaken you. It prepares you. At some point, you stop asking why you lost, and you start asking how to use it. That's maturity. That's mastery. The key is not to wish for less problems, but to wish for more skills. Loss stops being an enemy when you understand its purpose. Pain is energy. Pain is not weakness. It's energy. Raw, unfiltered, powerful. Emotion can either be a fuel or a fire that consumes you. Most people waste pain by complaining. The wise convert it into focus. The choice after loss. Loss creates a fork in the road. One path leads to bitterness. The other leads to wisdom. You cannot control what happens, but you can control how you respond. Response determines power. Loss sharpens attention. You stop guessing. You start measuring. Success leaves clues. Loss shows you what not to repeat. Precision replaces hope. Why the disciplined win? Pain without discipline creates chaos. Pain with discipline creates strength. Discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Mastery begins when pain meets structure. The strength of restraint. After loss, reacting feels natural, but restraint builds power. Self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. Power grows in restraint. Pain refines standards. Loss raises expectations, not from others, from yourself. We must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Choose discipline, the quiet transformation. Mastery is quiet. No announcements, no validation. Don't broadcast your goals. Work in silence. Pain teaches focus. Why some people never recover. They revisit pain without extracting wisdom. If you don't learn, you repeat. Learning ends suffering. Those who've lost deeply lead honestly. They speak from scars, not slogans. Experience is not the best teacher. Evaluated experience is. Loss gives credibility. Unbreakable doesn't mean untouched. It means unreleased. The stronger person is not the one who avoids pain, but the one who endures it and grows. Mastery is endurance. Loss never took anything from you. It gave you perspective. It gave you depth. It gave you power. For things to change, you must change. And you did. Remember this. Pain is temporary. Growth is permanent. Power is earned. Loss didn't stop you. It shaped you. And now you are stronger than before. You don't master life by avoiding loss. You master life by using it. So here we are, not at the end, but at a new beginning. Because once you understand loss, it no longer controls you. Life is not about what happens to you. It's about what you do with what happens. Loss will visit everyone, but wisdom does not. Wisdom is earned. You don't grow by avoiding pain. You grow by interpreting it. You don't become strong by winning all the time. You become strong by refusing to quit. Success is a few simple disciplines, practiced every day. Those disciplines are often born in moments of disappointment. Remember this, loss did not break you. It revealed you. It showed you what needed to change, and more importantly, who you needed to become. For things to change, you must change. And now you have. So the next time life pushes back, don't ask, why me? Ask, what is this here to teach me? Because every lesson learned moves you closer to mastery. Stand firm. Stay patient. Keep becoming. Your greatest strength was built in your hardest moments, and that strength can never be taken away.